Okay, so I've had this storage box for a little while. I got it at the MCN show a couple of months ago. So what are we? The end of October now. So I've had this for, I want to say 2 months. I wanted to try a back box to see how I'd get on with them, as I've never had one before. And then I was thinking I want one that's going to match the sort of square adventure style. Kind of goes with the adventure bike aesthetic. So I have bought and upgraded one of these plastic back boxes, but I have added some ABS rails both sides for molle webbing, so they are on there. Obviously the handles, I just need to swap the base plates out so this can go on the back of there. We get all our square luggage together, because you know, it's an adventure bike thing. Okay, so if you've had a back box before, this will be a familiar sight. This is a base plate, and the base plate is what you attach to the bike or whatever rack you're running, and then the boxes can be moved on and off the base plate. So it's not the actual box that you're attaching to the vehicle, it's the base plate you attach, and then you can move things in between. So this base plate is quite nice. However, with my setup that I've got at the back, I have had to put like a spacer of sorts in here, because there's a handle at the back here that I normally use for lifting the bike, hence why it's there. But yeah, that does mean that everything slopes. So 2 long bolts go through here, and they are going through a tube of PVC, and all that's doing is making sure that everything's level on the back. I could mount things on the other side of the handle, but that then puts everything a lot further back, and then if you put in luggage in there, there's lots of leverage on the frame, and it's just not worth it. So any like advantage I can gain by moving things forward is it's just me on the bike. Like I don't, it's not right up to my back as it is, so I should be able to get away with it. Should be fine. But this adventure back box is a lot larger, so we're going to first get the base plate out, and I can show you that they are slightly different. This shouldn't be too difficult, but that is the base plate for the new box. So you get the idea. This is the thing that you attach to your bike. So I believe it's not going to be too much deeper, which is perfect really. I think they're the same depth, just a slightly different width, which is ideal. So I should be able to use the same spacer as I've got in here for this base plate. However, to attach this bigger box is slightly different. You've got to run bolts through and nuts on the backside. On the it's an Oxford one. On the Oxford one, there's a threaded hole here which has got like a nut permanently in it, and then when the box is open, slide it in, pull the box up, and you can just turn a little like turn screw knob in, and then yeah, that attaches, so it slots into the back and then gets bolted down. The same with this, but you have to use nuts and bolts rather than something you can turn by hand. You do actually need tools to get this bigger one on and off, which is fine. I can live with that. I travel with tools. So I'm going to detach this and get the other base plate on. Okay, so just to show you what's going on here, it's the bottom bar, but this white plastic is the spacer, and then this is the carry handle that I normally use to maneuver the bike around. It's only a little bike, so it's not too bad. But that spacer makes this base plate level, so I will be removing this and putting it on the bottom of the other bracket, which is going to be interesting. Yeah, we'll see, because that looks pretty attached. Again, super basic, but this was more of a do I want a back box test. And yeah, I think it has its uses. I mean, worst case, I just leave the base plate on all the time and only attach the box when I want it, which is really for shopping. So I don't have a car, I'm always on a motorcycle, so I do everything on the bike. And when I use soft luggage and like tents and bits and pieces, I probably won't use the box. I'll just strap them to the base plate and just, you know, use the usual rock straps that I would normally use. So not too bad, but that just means making the base plate level for the new box. Okay, so as you can see there, we've got the different base plate in. Got the Oxford one here, which has only had one slight modification made, and that was to drill one of these spaces wider on both sides. But other than that, didn't need a modification. The bolts slip through most of the way, it's just the domes, so I just need to make sure that the box can be bolted down without the domes being an issue, but I can't see that being a problem. So should be all right to put this on now. See what it looks like. Okay, there she is. She's on there. So sits just as far back as the last one I had. So getting the seat off is a little bit of a challenge, but it's like not the end of the world. I don't need to get the seat off that often, thankfully. We were toying with the idea of maybe putting power into this. I've got an SAE plug down there, so you know I could run an SA lead up the side into the box, but I don't actually know what I'd use that for, as all of my lighting down here, I've got extra brake lights, extra indicators, fat old number plate, because I thought I need people to see this. I had the smaller plate and that one was flexible, so this one is also flexible. So if I try and hold this here, so if I do get caught on a bush like I did my original plate, I won't have to worry so much. Where is it? It is broken and it is hanging, so there it is. So this got caught in a bush and wrecked. The original one I changed because it had a GB thing on it, so I changed that one for a UK one, and then that got absolutely trashed. So I did this one, which is flexible, and then the big one. So that's all on there. Happy days. Reflectors, lights, UK sticker, all the good stuff. This box is lockable as well, thankfully, and the molle webbing rails allow me to attach pretty much anything I want. So mainly my camera gear I use molle webbing for. I mean, I've got molle webbing at the front as well. So these side pouches don't actually come with the bag that I'm using. I'm using a molle webbing system to keep those on, and then these have some molle webbing attachments on as well, because you know you need to carry different things of varying shapes and sizes. And if you do shopping on a bike, you know you'll know weird objects are a fun challenge. But I really like the way this looks, and I'm excited to give it a ride. And I think because of how tall this sits, I might even get one of the little cushions that sticks to the back, so that if I do lean back in traffic, I've got a comfy backrest. You know, the luxury stuff when building a premium adventure bike. Got to get all those premium features. Really pleased with this so far.